we will start the press conference. Kirill, yes. So Kirill sees us. Yes, thank you for being with us. So we can start the press conference. I would like to introduce first the producer of PETROV'S FLU, Mr. Ilya STEWART. The two actors who are with us today, DORN. And Yury KOLOKOLNIKOV. And last but not least, Kirill Serebrennikov. I already said to everybody that it will be held in English and Kirill will speak in Russian, so I will translate afterwards. I have my first question for you. Kirill, what is your situation over there? We are very happy to have you because 3 years ago with Letter you couldn't make it. And this year you can half make it, being with us still on video. How is your situation? Because some people still think that you are under house arrest.
Нет, я не под домашним арестом, но видите, ситуация лучше уже. Раньше же я даже не мог вот в виде телевизора быть на пресс-конференции, а сейчас уже могу в виде телевизора. Так что все лучше. Но я вот в тенденции общемировой, зум-персона. Мне кажется, что мы тоже к этому уже все немножко привыкли. И, собственно, я с вами, а вы со мной, и даже практически никакого дискомфорта.
Vous voyez, non, effectivement, je ne suis plus.
As you can see, I am no longer under house arrest. My situation has much improved. Last time, 3 years ago, there was no television. I was not with you. So it's much better today. Everyone is perhaps getting used to this trend. I have become a Zoom personality. You are used to Zoom, and I am too.
Yes, here, yeah. Yes, in the earphones. From French into English earphones. So no, it's okay.
Я не очень слышу вопросы.
Нет, это понятно. Пока вопросов нет, сейчас они будут. Ну, секундочку. Yes.
I would like to.
Yeah, please stand up.
I would like to congratulate Mr. Serebrennikov for this wonderful film. This was a stunning moment to see it. This giant metaphor about the situation, not only in post-Soviet Russia, but in our world. And I have two questions. First, do you think that surrealism and absurd are the means best appropriated to reflect our world today? And about the music in the film, which is so strong as the vision with its fluidity, what was the group who wrote the music and who sang it and who wrote the texts also? Music and vision are in perfect symbiosis, and this is very strong. So,
thank you.
I would like to know. Thank you.
Спасибо огромное за вопрос и за комплимент. Но если говорить про первое, да, действительно, так получилось, что это метафора, как-то все это выглядит сегодня достаточно метафорично, но, честно говоря, мы начали снимать фильм еще до того, как кто-то произнес слово «пандемия». И, наверное, у русской литературы, а роман Сальникова, по которому снят фильм, это, безусловно, прекрасная русская литература. Очень жалко, что вы не можете это почитать в оригинале, потому что это потрясающий еще русский язык. Но в ней, как в русской литературе, как в русской культуре, есть всегда вот, так сказать, какое-то пророчество, потому что русская культура и литература всегда связаны с понятием «судьба». Абсурд и сюрреализм и какой-то дадаизм – это все родовые свойства вообще русской культуры и нашей жизни. Мы в этом чувствуем себя достаточно комфортно, мы к этому отчасти в чем-то привыкли, и поэтому, так сказать, этот праздник абсурда, безумия, который там случился вокруг нас в пандемию, ну, такой странности, да, для нас это, ну, в общем, как-то даже привычно. А если говорить про музыку, я очень благодарен, что вы сейчас, что вы на это обратили внимание, потому что вот нам было очень важно сделать такую симфонию музыкальную по фильму. Там очень много разных композиций, которые иногда звучат оригинально, а иногда полностью перепеты и исполнены нашими музыкантами, моими друзьями, которые работают и в театре «Гоголь-центр», а какие-то вокальные композиции спеты прекрасным артистом Одином Байроном и вокалистом, и певцом. А вот певец Иван Дорн, который сидит на пресс-конференции, и он знаменитейший певец, он не спел в нашем фильме. И это вот тоже один из парадоксов русской жизни. Понимаете, вот этот абсурд и странность нашего бытия.
Merci beaucoup pour vos compliments.
Thank you very much for your question and these compliments, and to have noted the metaphorical aspect of the film. Nevertheless, I would like to be frank. We started shooting even before the word pandemic had appeared in our vocabulary. If we look at the great Russian literature, we know that we have adapted this film from a book by Alexei Selnikov. Unfortunately, you cannot read it in the original language, and it's a shame because it is part of great Russian literature. But it is worth noting that in Russian literature, there are certain prophecies which occur in the literature. We are always running towards our destiny. And so there is a mix of absurd and of surrealism, Dadaism, which is something which we are used to. These are elements which are part of our life, and in the end, we have got used to them. It is a mix of the absurd and of folly, which has accompanied us throughout the pandemic, which means that in the end, the pandemic has not seemed so unusual for us in our lives. But I am delighted that you have remarked the music, because it is a true musical symphony. There are various compositions in the film, across the film, some which you hear in the original version, others which have been sung by different singers and also by actors including those from my Gogol Center, which I'm the director of. There is one thing, Mr. Ivan Dorn, who is present here, is a singer himself, but he does not sing in the film. It is one of the film's paradoxes.
Bonjour. Merci pour cette immense et fulgurante.
In English, we have no possibility. Sorry.
Thank you for this huge lesson of filmmaking. 2 questions. Your hero always says a priori. I don't know what how do you say?
Вроде. Герой постоянно говорит вроде.
We could say there are a lot of a priori in your country. Is it true or not true? And second question, in the bus, she said, take care at the non-closing of the doors. Is it a metaphor of Russia? Be careful, it's open, but be careful.
Ну, мне трудно, как бы, ну, понимаете, я не могу делать самоинтерпретацию, все, что вы видите в фильме, все так и есть. Я могу с самого начала это сказать. Вот как вы это все видите, все это точно так. А вот это слово «вроде бы», «вроде», как раз это и есть об этой зыбкости бытия и небытия, и об этом промежутке между прошлым и будущим, к которому, кстати, относится и русский Новый год. Это любимое нами время, когда вот прошлое еще не закончилось, а будущее еще не наступило. И вот этот промежуток, то ли между жизнью и смертью, то ли между прошлым и будущим, очень мы его любим, и в этот промежуток случаются самые невероятные истории, так верят русские. Ну, всегда верят, что все будет хорошо, и в связи с этим много каких-то новогодних сказок. Вот одна из таких, на самом деле, новогодних сказок о путешествии человека домой, это вот наш фильм.
D'abord, c'est extrêmement difficile.
First of all, it's very difficult for me to give one interpretation of the film. What I'd like to say is that everything that you see exists and is real. Regarding the preconceived ideas, the a priori, I think that it is an ambiguity which we are always in. We are in between a past which no longer exists and a future which has not yet happened. It is between birth and death, between the past and future. We hope that everything will go well. It is like in children's stories with travels.
И там не закрываются двери в троллейбусе. Там этот водитель объявляет, что осторожно, двери не закрываются.
Это шутка.
C'est juste une plaisanterie, c'est une blague.
It's just a joke.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, Neus Flores, freelance journalist here. I want to ask how you're living the house arrest and if it's given you more creative ideas for new projects, if you can develop on that.
Ну, как принято у нас говорить, ну, не пытайтесь повторить это, не стоит. Повторять, наверное, что-то дает, наверное, что-то забирает. Но, в общем, не советую.
En fait, je préférais que ça ne se reproduise pas.
I would prefer that it shouldn't happen again.
Mais je préférais que ça ne se reproduise pas.
I very much hope that it will not happen again.
I have one question for you, Ilya. How difficult was it to produce such a movie? As far as we know, there were no state money, but you had a lot of co-producers. How difficult was it? Was it more difficult than the previous one, later?
It was more difficult to physically produce it just because of Kirill's situation at that time. And I think this is the only film set that we've had in our experience so far where everybody really is a soldier. So there was no problems with that. And, you know, the whole team fully adjusted to the scenario we were in and came together and made the film happen physically when it was tough, scheduling-wise, obviously. As per the co-production question, we have a lot of brilliant partners. It's a French, German, Swiss, and a UK co-production, which is the biggest we have done as a company so far. And Kirill is an internationally recognized household director by now. So there was a lot of interest. I'm happy that we came together with the same partners that worked with us on Leta, but expanded the team even further. And it's amazing from our perspective, that all these producers from the different countries that we collaborated with reacted to the story, reacted to the script, which we thought was very Russian. And this, I think, is a testament to the universality of Kirill Serebrennikov as a director.
Thank you very much. And you, Kirill, when did you shoot exactly? When was it? When was the shooting? And what were the biggest difficulties you had to face for this particular shooting?
Ну, все трудности ты носишь в самом себе. Ну, вот как бы трудно было снимать, потому что что-то такое придумывается, а как это реализовать, никогда не знаешь. Вообще каждый фильм ты снимаешь как бы с нуля. И это счастье, что была хорошая команда и есть, собственно. И вот мы вчера праздновали, у нас двойной праздник. С одной стороны, Значит, открытие фильма, премьера на Каннском фестивале, красная дорожка, наши друзья идут по ней, а мы в павильоне, где сейчас снимаем новый фильм, тоже себе устроили красную дорожку и ходили по ней и смотрели трансляцию, как наши друзья по ней идут. И вот это, мы там делали в павильоне между дублями, потому что снимаем новое кино с той же командой, которая работала на Петров. И все трудности в тебе самом. Так потрясающие друзья, и очень много людей помогает, и как бы все хотят, чтобы получилось, но если ты что-то в себе не придумаешь, то оно не получится. Поэтому все трудности в этой голове, собственно.
En fait, les vraies difficultés.
In fact, the real difficulties are those that we have within us. The difficulty of shooting is to imagine things and to not know how or whether it will be possible to achieve them. So we always need to start from zero. Yesterday was a double celebration for us. We had at once the premiere of our film at Cannes with the red carpet, but I'm also currently shooting my next film. And in the studio where we are also shooting, we also set up a red carpet in order to be able to support the actors and the team which were in Cannes. And so between the takings of my new film, we had rolled out the red carpet in order to be able to do the same things. So it was a double celebration. With regards to the difficulties, let's be frank, the team was absolutely fantastic. I continue to work with them. And so the real difficulties are within oneself, but when you have a great crew, then they help you to overcome the difficulties.
Ivan, Kirill already told that you're a singer. How difficult was it to work on this particular movie? Because I know that it's not your first movie, as a matter of fact, even if you are mainly well known as a singer. It's not your first movie, but is it a particular movie for you?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, this is the greatest moment for me to be here and to be a part of this movement as this named by this film. And the first thing is, I'm here for the only task is to underscore the greatness of Kirill Serebrennikov, because I had experience in my life 3 times. I was filming in other films, and I said to my friends about that. I had this experience, and after that, my fans, because I'm well known in my countries as a musician, first of all, they was coming to me and telling me, okay, we saw you were filmed in those movies. You don't need to do that, okay? I was playing a main role, so my fans was telling me, you don't need to be filmed anymore. It's not yours, okay? Don't be in a film. Don't go there. You are not actor. You're a musician. Do that. So after that, I said, okay, this is the last time I was filming in a movie. And a few years later, 3, 4, I don't know how many years went, Kirill came to me and he said, I want to film you in a movie. Okay, and I said, okay, you need to watch those previous movies before you will be really sure that you want to do that. And he said, I don't wanna watch these movies. I'm pretty sure that you just got into wrong arms. You was working with the wrong people. And I said, okay, let's try. Because he said, I see you, I know what you can do, I feel that it could be the particular thing. Okay, so after that I said, yeah, let's try that. And the process, the preparation, if I can say so, before I was filming, this was extra professional, because we were sitting reading the scenario first, then we were improvising, then we were fixing what was good after my improvising. After that, we were fixing everything with the costumes. And later he said the most complicated thing was that in my 18 minutes shot, the single shot with the 18 minutes, it was they were using explosion, how would you say that? Pyrotechnique, no?
And la pyrotechnie.
Pyrotechnics, yeah. And because of that, we got only 2 tries. And those 2 tries, we passed. So when we passed through, he said, okay, I'm taking the first one because it was more, it was fresh, with a fresh,
It was a fresher take out of the 3.
yeah, yeah. And this experience underscoring the greatness of his Majesty Kirill Serebrennikov, because when I was watching me finally filmed by a professional, I realized that I'm a good actor at the end of the day, and I can do that. So I think that every one of you can be a good actor when you're working with a professional as a Kirill Serebrennikov. That's it. Thank you.
I'm not that sure, but...
Я просто хочу еще добавить, Жаль, что мы... все это было ровно так. Единственное, мы Ваню чуть не грохнули в этот же первый день, понимаешь? Потому что ему то ли забыли, то ли он не понял, что надо выйти из павильона, когда он взрывается. И он там...
Выйти из павильона и что?
Перед тем, как он взрывается, потому что там все взрывается. И Ваня там остался. И с трудом мы Ваню оттуда вытащили, потому что так бы все это взорвалось вместе с Ваней. Поэтому это было... Мы там все чуть не умерли в первый съемочный день.
Но я бы все равно был в кино, потому что ты взял первый дубль.
Да, ну... Да, просто кино было бы другое, Ваня.
Effectivement, je veux juste souligner...
Indeed, I would like to highlight one element. It happened just as Ivan Dorn has just described, but he omitted one thing. There were 2 takes of this scene, which lasts 18 minutes across 18 different sets, according to Ivan Dorn. But right at the end, if you remember, there is an explosion, and Ivan nearly forgot to come off the set at the explosion, so we nearly lost him at the first day. And so Ivan Dorn replies, they only did 2 takes of this 18-minute scene, and Kirill Serebrennikov retained the first take. And Ivan Dorn says, even if I had stayed and I had exploded together with the set, you would have kept the first take. So it was always going to be the best one.
Yes, sir, please.
Peter Paul-Huth, Interfilm, Germany. I have a question, Mr. Serebrennikov. You mentioned Russian literature as a source of inspiration. I was wondering, what would you say about inspiration from cinematic sources, like from Russian or international cinema? Where are the sources you draw from? Thank you.
Мне трудно всегда отвечать на этот вопрос. Я понимаю его, ну, так сказать, закономерность, и это естественный вопрос на кинофестивале, а кого вы любите, кто на вас влияет. Ужас в том, что на нас все влияет. На меня влияют все фильмы, которые я смотрю. Смотрю я достаточно много. На меня влияют фильмы, которые мне нравятся, на меня влияют фильмы, которые мне не нравятся, на меня влияют какие-то видео-мувис, которые там они попадают в ТикТок, понимаете? Все на нас влияет. Мы находимся в таком огромном информационном потоке, но все высокие образцы, фильмов, на которых я воспитывался, там все итальянское, французское, британское, американское кино, там великое, оно сформировало во мне ощущение к кинематографу как к искусству. Все-таки для меня это вот piece of art, и как бы к этому надо стремиться, чтобы это оставалось искусством. И мы все, которые работаем на фильм, и артисты, и группа, и режиссеры, художники, оператор. Мы все создаем некую мандалу, вот как бы ничего не было, и вдруг это что-то возникает. Оно возникает из света, тьмы, какого-то эфемерности, из эфемерности. и исчезает после того, как закончился фильм и прошли титры, но ведь в вас все равно что-то остается, и это что-то, ну, так сказать, так учит и русская литература, и великий кинематограф, на котором мы все воспитывались. Вот это что-то, и, наверное, главное, ради чего мы все тут собираемся, в том числе и на замечательном этом фестивале.
It is a question which I always find it difficult to answer, even though, of course, I understand that it is entirely legitimate and natural to ask this question, especially during a film festival. However, I only have one answer. Everything influences me. All the films I watch, even the films which I don't enjoy, of course, the films I do enjoy influence me. Everything influences me. Films, the videos, TikTok today. We are influenced by everything. We are in a continuous flow of information. Of course, I was educated in cinema through great Italian, French, British, American cinema, and that helped me understand that cinema is an art form, and that is what we are all trying to achieve. We are all trying to construct these works of art, which are sometimes born of light, sometimes born of darkness, are sometimes ephemeral, and at the end of the film they disappear. But there is always something which stays within you, whether it is great literature or great films. There is something which stays within you, and which means that in the end we all meet up here at this fantastic Cannes Film Festival.
We know you because we see you quite often now in American movies, mainly. You were the only Russian actor in Game of Thrones. You were in Christopher Nolan Tenet. You were in Hitman's Bodyguard. How would you manage to have this career between two countries now? And what was your, what made you, what was the impulse to that you took the decision to go and to make Kirill's movie?
Well, my first play was 20 years ago, and it was Kirill's first on a big stage in Moscow. It was Sweet Bird of Youth, so we know each other for 20 years, and I think that was my kind of first like professional education when I graduated, but then you actually are learning your profession while you were starting your work with talented people. So it was 20 years ago, and then we had, you know, our different paths. And when I met Ilya in St. Petersburg 2 years ago, and he asked me, do you want it? And we have some kind of a role for you in that movie. I said, of course I do. And I mean, I'm very happy to would be happy to work with. So we had the first shooting day in that shop where he was dancing and with Petrov. And when we finished that day, that was the first shooting day. I haven't been working with Kirill for like, I don't know, 10 years maybe. And he said, you know what, Yury, I want to tell you something. You became a good actor. I said, thanks, man. I guess so. In 20 years, I couldn't make it. So, it's a big honor, you know, to work in this great team with such a great, talented people. And honestly, I'm very impressed by producer Ilya because, I mean, we're friends. We know each other for some time. But to make this amazing, you know, there's thousands of puzzles to put it all together is so impressive because when I watched the movie yesterday, like 20 titles before the movie started, all producers, oh God, how did that happen? So, well, I think any movie, movie could be about anything, but about your childhood, about your youth. That is the most important thing about the director's youth. That's his vision. And I think, and Kirill, I think was, I read it in some articles. I hope you agree with that. But this movie links with my youth as well very much, because we all came from Soviet time, very strange time, you know, with this kind of between time. It was not even moving anywhere, especially the last like the like 80s and 90s. I was a small guy. I was like whatever, 10 years old, 7 years old, but I do remember all those snow maidens and this absurdistic life. So thank you very much, guys, for having me on board. Yeah, it was a big joy. Thanks, Kirill. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a question. Yes, please.
Hello, Srđan Jokanović, Ilustrovana politika Serbia. Congratulations. I just cannot decide if it's do I like more Leto or this one, and I will see because both of them are good. Just tell me, I have the impression that this film happened in the same period of time as Leto. It's the first question, and the other one is about music. Obviously, in Leto and this one, music is important, and in both you have singers as main, actors. And what is your relationship to music? Which music did you like when you brought up that defined you, and what do you listen now, and so on? Thank you.
Спасибо. Ну да, фильм «Лето» — это про лето, а «Петров в гриппе» про зиму. Понятно, что хоть мы и снимали в самую бесснежную зиму, и все пришлось сделать достаточно искусственно, засыпать огромные пространства снегом, но там, где много настоящего снега, это Екатеринбург, потому что мы немножко там снимали. А про музыку, ну, как в моей жизни очень много музыки, особенно сейчас. Я много ставлю оперы, и у меня выходят какие-то премьеры в разных городах, в больших оперных театрах, и это значит, твоя жизнь все время пронизана, так сказать, музыкой, причем самого высокого качества. Когда ты начинаешь делать фильм, так сказать, я без музыки чувствовал бы себя каким-то незащищенным и пустым. Она дает какой-то определенный пласт, определенную структуру в этом фильме делает. И еще раз говорю, вот, так сказать, вокал, который вы слышите периодически, это Один Байрон, замечательный американский артист, который живет в России и работает очень много в театре, в Гоголь-центре он работает, и сейчас снимается в том фильме, который сейчас снимаем мы в Москве. Он американец, но выучил русский язык и прекрасно на нем работает. Так же, вот как Юра, русский парень, прекрасно, так сказать, владеющий английским языком и поэтому снимающийся в прекрасных, каких-то важнейших англоязычных проектах. То есть вообще вот музыка — это такой универсальный язык, и мне очень нравится, что вы про это спрашиваете, что вы на это обращаете внимание, потому что это то, что всем понятно, и все, что как-то цепляет наши уши, от великой оперной музыки до какой-то попсовой музыки, популярной музыки, которую мы в фильме превратили в такие странные, немножко сюрреалистические композиции с помощью аранжировки и какой-то другого взгляда на эту музыку. Но вообще это про вот универсальность языка и кино, и музыки. Вообще кино — это же и есть музыка на самом деле. И музыка, и поэзия, и ничего здесь с этим сделать нельзя. И любое кино, оно владеет этим международным языком общения. Надо просто его хорошенько услышать. Ну вот я, во всяком случае, надеюсь, что наша музыка будет слышна и понятна международной аудитории.
Effectivement, d'abord merci.
First of all, thank you.
Les saisons,
With regards to the seasons, Lyeta means the summer. The action takes place in the winter. When we shot the film, it was a winter without snow, so we had to use artificial snow. And then we had to move the filming to Yekaterinburg, otherwise we wouldn't have had any snow. With regards to music, I've always listened to a lot of music, and I listen more and more. I also listen to operas, and I think our lives, my life, is punctuated by great music. Without music, I would feel defenseless and empty. I think it's music which lends a certain structure to this film. I would like to thank Mr. Beyer, who wrote the film's songs. He is an American living in Moscow, who also works in theatre. And the film I'm currently shooting, well, this Mr. Beyer is in this film. He is an American who's learnt Russian and who lives in Moscow, just like Yury has learnt English to be able to have a career in English-speaking films. Music, for me, is by definition the universal language, and I thank you for having been attentive to this, because I think music is universally understood, whether it is great opera to pop music. I think that it is essential. Music brings a surrealistic aspect to the film. It is another gaze that we have on music through these pieces which already exist and which we reinterpreted. Cinema and music go together, music and poetry as well. And I think film is an international language, just like music. And I hope that you will hear and understand the music just as we had hoped.
Can you, Kirill, explain us how you work mainly with your DOP, Vladislav Apelians? We had him here 3 years ago. He was here for Lyeta. That's the third movie you're making together. As far as I know, he's your DOP on your new movie as well. That's why he's not here with us. How do you work together? Because the takes, the shots are incredible. Do you rehearse a lot before? Only you, the both of you, or always with the actors? Ivan said that there were only 2 takes, for instance, for him. What does it mean for the rehearsals, and mainly with your DOP? How do you work together?
Да, я рад с Владом работать, и мы сейчас общаемся каждый день, снимаем новый фильм, и это мой постоянный соавтор. Также хочу обратить внимание на прекрасного художника Влада Агая, который художник-постановщик Петровых, и который сейчас работает над новым фильмом. И ну вот как-то мы сдружились и делаем что-то, знаете, ставим себе какие-то сложные задачи. Конечно, перед этими длинными шотами у нас несколько дней репетиции. Это всегда кошмар для любого продюсера, потому что продюсеры любят, когда каждый день снимается кино. А тут вдруг возникает странное слово «репетиция», и как бы все вызываются, и все в костюмах, и все полные, но камера не включается, что-то там она репетирует. Вот. Но я всегда встречаю понимание у Ильи, за что ему огромное спасибо. Достаточно трудоемкий подход к этим сложным планам. И, так сказать, да, у Вани было 2 дубля, но эти 2 дубля по 18 минут. И у нас был первый разговор с Ваней смешной. Вань, пожалуйста, 1 всего лишь съемочный день. Он сказал, 1 так 1. Но я говорю, зато это 18 минут фильма, понимаешь? Поэтому как бы некоторые там дольше у нас снимались, а на экране меньше. Вот. Но это требует, конечно, огромной работы. И только благодаря тому, что мы как-то за эти годы стали друг друга хорошо понимать, и в том числе с командой, с которой мы практически постоянно снимаем уже не первый фильм, и с продюсером Ильей, и вот с командой, которая снимает кино непосредственно, Вот только это взаимопонимание нас делает возможным какие-то безумные затеи, которые я им предлагаю. Все сложнее, сложнее и сложнее. Вот, ну, там надо... Нет препятствий, нет остановок в этом направлении. То есть мы будем что-нибудь еще дальше себе сочинять и с удовольствием преодолевать эти трудности.
D'abord, je suis absolument ravi.
First of all, I'm delighted to be able to continue to work with Vladislava. He is a kind of co-author with me, just like I would say that Vlad Ogay, who is the chief decorator, was also a kind of co-author, and both of them are working on my new film. We have become friends, and together we are able to accomplish the most difficult tasks. Of course, we need a lot of rehearsals, and it can be a nightmare for the producer because we need to dress people, to bring them to the rehearsal even when they're not shooting. And I am profoundly thankful to Ilya for the work which he has done. And I know it is particularly difficult when Ivan earlier said that there had been only 2 takes. Yes, but they were 2 takes, each of which took 18 minutes. He only had 1 day of shooting for 18 minutes on screen, and there are people on the team who had many more days of shooting, but in the end who were less present in the film. It is not our first film together with Ilya, and it is this great comprehension of each other which allows us to turn the impossible into possible, and we are able to work on more and more complex themes, and that we are able to overcome the greatest obstacles together.
This press conference. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you, Kirill. Thank you to all of you. And I will ask the 3 of you to stand closer to the screen for the photos with Kirill, please.
Hey. Sit down, please.
No, but
No, sorry.
You stand up.
who?
No, you stand up.
Вы можете облокотиться на меня, ребята.
As a matter of fact, Kirill sees just the table and us. He cannot see you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joël.
Спасибо, Жоэль, огромное. Прости за сложные какие-то монологи.
Merci à Joël et pardon
Thank you,
pour ces
Joël,
difficultés.
and please forgive me for the difficulties.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо, Кирилл.
Пока, Рон.
Пока.